DC and the CW have officially announced that they're making at least one full season of a new superhero drama centered on Superman and Lois Lane. Now friends, I'm extremely excited about this show. I've been hoping for it since they introduced The Flash as a spin-off to Arrow, and now that it's a thing and it's here, I'm over the moon. I'm stoked. This is exciting. But at the same time, I have a few reservations, and I think since this is Superman we're talking about, I think I'm taking it a bit more serious than I am with other shows that have come about, like Legends of Tomorrow or Black Lightning or even Supergirl. So I thought today let's go through the pros and cons of the show and try to narrow down why it's so important and what kinds of things to look out for. And really how this could affect the CW and superhero shows in general. So let's get into it. First thing, this is the first DC superhero show on the CW, as far as I can tell, that was made solely because fans wanted it. Not that they went into it haphazardly just to please fans. Superman had a lot of appearances in Supergirl and in all of the crossovers, and each time he seemed to be taking more of a center role in how things work, particularly in the Elseworlds crossover, when he was arguably the linch point for the special, and then there was the most recent Crisis on Infinite Earths, when he was inducted into the official Justice League of the CW-verse, without even having his own show. He was the only one there who didn't have his own show or wasn't headlining a show. But every time he made an appearance, he stole the show to an extent, and fan response was typically pretty positive with him, with only a few notes, which I'll get to later. So this show already starts life as a love letter to the fans to thank them for their dedication to the stories being told in Arrow and Flash and Legends and Supergirl and all of those. This already sounds like the best, most noble way they could have started the show. But then we come to one of my first problems here, which is that it's a spin-off of Supergirl, and while fans have had a very positive response to Superman and his appearances on that show, Supergirl has this habit of demeaning Superman whenever they can.
Cisco, would you do the honors?
Anything from my favorite Kryptonian. That's right, I have a favorite Kryptonian.
Yes, a good choice.
For instance, I have to say I'm not impressed
By your more famous cousin.
Thank you. No one ever says that.
Oh, he's all like, I'm Superman.
That's a really good impression.
Thanks.
That's a topic for its own video someday, but immediately it already puts Superman at a distinct disadvantage. And the other issue with Supergirl existing is that she's already taken the origins and adaptations of some of Superman's most famous stories. She's taken Livewire, she's taken Metallo, she's taken, For the Man Who Has Everything. She already did that. She already had a Red Sun kind of event. But I like to think that this is an opportunity, rather than a disadvantage, to introduce some new, long-standing characters to the Superman franchise, like Smallville did, or Superman the Animated Series did. But I'm not sure if I have that much faith in the current CW producers to be willing to think that far outside of the box to make this new Superman experience. I think what's probably going to happen, more likely, is they're going to copy a bunch of stories from the early DC Rebirth Superman era, where he and Lois and their son John were off doing their thing. I think that's probably what we can expect. But, I mean, here's hoping, right? But then again, that does lead to another opportunity here. The next pro in this setup is that Superman and Lois are already married with a kid, and this is a big deal. Half the drama of a CW show comes from everyone dating everyone else for the first couple of seasons, and then they finally find the one person they were destined to be with, and then they're with them. If you're the Arrow, then you're all flip-floppy about it for the next while, but Flash has been pretty good. But in any case, Superman and Lois are already married and they already have a kid, which hopefully means that they're going to find their drama in less expectable, less stereotypical places. There's potential here. And this is a unique and interesting concept that the CW really hasn't touched in any other show I can think of in recent memory, which will automatically make it stand out. But then again, the CW puts this kind of wholesome entertainment at risk with their rhetoric. Nothing ruins the taste of a good show like shoving a political stance down your throat. The perfect example is Supergirl. In almost every episode, someone has to make a boys versus girls argument, which sounds a lot less like a thought-out discussion and more like a bunch of kids whining on the playground. And while I'm all about breaking glass ceilings and equal treatment across the board, I also roll my eyes every time a character goes, "Oh, you think I can't do this because I'm a woman?" Or, "Just because I'm a woman, you think I'm going to hold back?" Or, "Are you intimidated because I'm a woman?" Because no one, on screen or off screen, is thinking that. Like, people just don't think that way. Like, a few loudmouths might, but I don't really meet anyone ever anywhere who thinks that kind of thing on a regular basis. The CW presents characters with potential for greatness, but makes them beg or guilt you into liking them. That might be a hot take, but think about that next time you watch these shows. It's there, and it's goofy, and you can't unsee or unhear it when you notice the pattern, and it just shows up everywhere.
So if you perceive Supergirl as anything less than excellent, isn't the real problem you?
And anyway, like, my biggest concern here, then, is that this kind of mindset will seep into the Superman show, because it is a spin-off of Supergirl, and it's going to be detrimental to the characterization of Superman, of Lois especially, of John, and anyone else who's connected to this show. Overall, though, I think Superman and Lois is a unique enough concept and has strong enough characters already established that it could succeed and become a big hit. Don't misunderstand me, I'm over the moon this show exists now, especially with Superman's movie forecast looking a bit empty for the next while. But I suppose we'll just have to wait and see the first episodes when they come out. Around, I imagine, fall of 2020. What are you hoping to come out of the series? And is there another superhero you think is long overdue for a new series? I personally think Wonder Woman is due for another TV outing, but I want to hear your thoughts. Be sure to like this video if you want more of this type of shorthand thing, and until next time, thank you for joining me. Have a great day, and remember to always be your best self.